Hello everyone, welcome to Astro Thinking, a channel which aims to help you think astrologically. We cannot change our charts, but we can certainly change the way we look at it. My name is Denise, I'm based in Brazil, and the idea today is to share a little bit about this new moon in Sagittarius. Not only a new moon within an eclipse season happening on the 3rd or 4th of December, depending on where you are in the planet. So, first of all, new moons are always about new beginnings. Each moon, each different phase has a different message to us to start with. Even if we don't talk about the star sign, if we think about the new moon is the new beginning. Sun and the moon together in the same degree and minute, inviting us for a new start. And depending on the sign, this new start has a particular way of talking to us. That's what I would like to discuss with you. Then we have the crescent moon, which is the moon for expansion, right? So we can go beyond, we can make things grow. Then the full moons, which are the culmination point of the month. And then the waning moon, where we are emptying ourselves, letting go stuff that we can be prepared for the new cycle. So now we have a new moon within the eclipse season. So what is this new start about, right? So we're talking about Sagittarius, a very optimistic sign, a sign that aims to amplify our perspective in any possible way. That's why it rules knowledge, philosophy, the way we believe things, also faith, religion, travel, because we expand limits. There is no limitation, because it's a self-confident sign. Sagittarians believe they can. It's a fire sign full of energy. So the first question and reflection to us is, what are your intentions to make your projects grow? How can you expand your perspective? How can you be optimistic and take your projects out of the paper using this self-confident sign? So that's the first start. And because it's an eclipse season, which happens twice a year, every 6 months or so, they come in pairs of 2. So because in eclipses, we have both the sun and the moon that get hidden for a few seconds or a few moments, a few minutes, depending on the eclipse. We have this memory within us that we have either emotions the moon blocked, or our identity, the way we see, which is the sun. So we have this moment of restart, right? It's like the sun, the light goes off and then on again, and then you have an opportunity to rethink situations. So eclipse seasons are likely to take things away, or to eliminate things that we need to eliminate, or to cause an inflection perspective in our way of looking at situations. And they tend to last a little longer, because a new moon usually lasts for 28 days. In eclipse season, that situations that are happening may extend a little, or even some believe that it can go until the next eclipse, so taking longer, up to 6 months. So interesting to see what is happening right now. So what is your opportunity to rethink this expansion in being in Sagittarius? So also some aspects that I would like to discuss with you about this particular chart of the new moon. So Sagittarius aims to encourage you, to encourage others. Being a fire sign, it has a lot of energy to share, knowledge to share. Some aspects that we need to think: this new moon has a very important participation of Mercury in the chart, and which tells us about communication, about news, about media. So we can expect some new information. And also, when Mercury is around, we can think about the narratives. What are the narratives you're telling yourself? So we need to watch out for what's on the news, how we are communicating, listening, expressing ourselves. Mercury is also in Sagittarius, which is this optimistic sign. So a lot to think, a lot to explore. Facing a challenging aspect with Neptune, which is more exact on the 7th of December. But being in the chart of the new moon, we have to think about if we are really based on facts. So because Neptune is around, we can be more likely to be confused or to be, to fall into some illusion. So we need to take care of the facts and be more into reality, because we're more likely to maybe misinterpret or being too optimistic based on reality. So let's watch out for that. We also have in this new moon, Venus, talking about relationship a little bit. Venus is in Capricorn, and for the first time in the year, it's going to be retrograde very soon. So Venus was all the year long of 2021 not facing a retrogradation process. Every time we talk about a planet being retrograde, we are talking about revision. We need to revise things. And being Capricorn, it's a reminder for us that relationships needs to be based on reality. It's a kind of a reality check when we are talking about Capricorn. Already a lot to deal with, because we all have a tendency when we talk about relationships to have illusion, to have passion, to have expectations. And when we deal with an earth sign very devoted to responsibility, to reality, to things that can last, it's a lot of checking right now. So Capricorn is a serious sign, so we need to be based on this reality. But it's not only that. It is the fact that it's going to be retrograde expands the time that Venus is going to stay in Capricorn. Usually it stays around a month in each sign, but because of the retrogradation period, it's going to be from November 5th until March 6th, around March 6, 2022. Quite a few months for us to think about that. And being on the chart of the new moon, it actually stays all month long, because this lunation cycle is going to be influenced by that, but also maybe longer because it is an eclipse season, remember? So maybe it lasts longer, this revision process. We also have another aspect about Venus, which is very important. It's going to be conjunct Pluto, which reminds us that we are more likely to go in depth. We are more likely to have to face things that we are hiding, putting underneath the carpet and not willing to see, and things that are more likely things that we tend to see as crises, or things that are in a process that really needing to be transformed, and we cannot hide anymore for some reason. So this depth, maybe with this defensiveness or fear of being abandoned or fear of losing things. So it's a lot of defense, right? Emotionally defense with this conjunct to Pluto. So I would pay attention to relationships in this moment, because the revision in itself, and by the way, the retrogradation period goes from December 19th until January 29th. So that's a period when Venus is retrograde. So this is a new moon about the expansion in Sagittarius, but when we talk about this new cycles, right, within a period of a month, which is a lunation cycle, we need to understand that this is a small cycle within a big one. So we also need to bear in mind the main aspect of 2021, which is the challenge, the big challenge between Saturn and Uranus happening all year long, with 3 exact encounters. Two of them happened already, one in February, the other in June, mid-February, mid-June, and the third one is going to happen December 24th. So we are already going in that direction of facing again this challenge between the past and the future, the challenge between tradition, which is Saturn, and fighting the status quo, or needing to reinvent ourselves, but kind of not being so ready yet. So we are really willing to go free. We really need freedom, equity, We see this polarization all over the place, all worldwide, and we are still in this battle, right? So we are being so close to December 24th. This is the cycle, right? This is the lunation cycle that is starting now, heading this main aspect. So we still have to do homework. This main aspect of 2021 means that we still have homework to do. We still have to pay some bills, let's say, before we get free. And all part of this major rebuilding process that we are going through. So what else can I share with you guys? So I would take care also Mars, the sign of our actions and the way we defend ourselves, in Scorpio still. So it's a very strategic Mars, still very looking at the depth, still dealing with shadows, let's say, and facing a challenging aspects with Jupiter in this new moon. I would take care of exaggeration. Sagittarius is already exaggerated, right? It's nothing is small in Sagittarius. It's big, expects big, going beyond. And being Jupiter in a challenge situation with Mars, I would breathe and count until 10 before expecting too much, because we're already in this expansion perspective being in Sagittarius. So another point in this new moon that I think it's worth mentioning is both Sun and the Moon, both in Sagittarius in the new moon, are with a very interesting, the best aspect of all that we call a trine with Chiron. Remember, Chiron is not a planet, it's an asteroid, but interesting. It's more and more being used in astrology, not for everyone, but more and more. And Chiron has this myth of us needing to face the wounds, right? So we are now having a tool, we are having a facilitation to really face what is harming us, or face what is the wound. Because if we don't face it, we cannot treat it. It's not treatable if you don't even recognize the wound. And with Venus in Capricorn being very reality oriented, with this depth with Pluto, so we all in this relationship mode needing to face reality, I think it's a good thing that we have Chiron helping us to be brave enough to face the wounds. Also important to mention that Venus also rules economy, and we are being Capricorn, this facing things with reality is also, we have to revise stuff relating to economy as well, having the retrogradation period of Venus in Capricorn. We need to maybe be more economic, maybe don't exaggerate in expanding too much, because Capricorn is a reminder for us to stick to the basics, to stick with what is necessary. Well, that's for a first video to talk about new moons, just to, explore a little bit our reflection. I usually say, let's not waste new moons, because it's the possibility of a new beginning. So I would like to finish this video asking you, what are your intentions? How you can be conscious and present to your intentions in the new moon. That's what I call being, thinking with astrology. Not only having the information as a given thing, right? That as you have nothing to do with it. You do. You have things to do, learning or going depth in your chart and understanding what's going on, so you can be more present to how you perceive things and how you face and how you react after all. So I hope this is helpful. I hope to see you around. Let me know what you think about it. It's the very beginning of the channel, so I would love to hear you guys. If you got to the end of this video and you can help me with your feedback, I would love to hear. Okay, see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.